Good afternoon and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Audrey Lynch and I'm here with my co-host Judy Loge.
Hello everybody.
Yes, we're here back in Miramichi, another beautiful day.
Yes, it is. Spring.
Yes, it is. It's definitely spring. We're into May now, so spring is definitely here. Yes. I have a little bit of snow left in my backyard. How about you?
Well, we had lights that, of course, we took down as soon as we could in the season, when the season ended, because here we were with Christmas things that were stuck, like lights, and so we're just now getting them ungrounded.
Yeah. Away. Oh, go on. You're
but
kidding.
For anyone who still has a Santa Claus wreath on their front door, could you take it off now?
I did take mine down. I did just recently. I'm not going to lie.
On your front door?
No, it wasn't on my front door. I did have it tucked out back. Nobody else saw it, but my children was. Mind you, if you came to my house and came around back, you would have seen it. But yeah, we're going to start off our show like we usually do with a thought or a quote of the day. And I'm up. It's my turn.
Yes.
And bear with me, though. I forgot my glasses today, and I can't even borrow.
I'm Judy Loge.
I can't even borrow Judy's because she doesn't have hers with her today either. But this was a little something that I read today, this morning. Of course, I tend to touch base with Facebook like everybody else does, first thing Monday morning.
Except more.
See how everybody's weekend went. And I came across this little poem that I thought I'd share, especially with, I've been seeing a lot of posts and stories about Becca. And, you know, Becca told me to. I'm following her closely. And a beautiful, beautiful girl. If you've gotten a chance to see any of her recent videos. Yeah, her spirit is just unbelievable.
Second to none. Her inspiration is immense. She inspires me every day to try to be a better person because she has such an attitude.
I know.
Positive,
that's just it.
Positive thoughts.
Yeah, so when I read this, I thought this was perfect. So this one says, you might think that you don't matter in this world, but because of you, someone has a favorite mug to drink their tea out of that you bought for them. Someone hears a song on the radio and it reminds them of you. Someone has read a book that you recommended to them and gotten lost in the pages. Someone's remembered a joke that you told them and smiled to themselves on the bus. Never think you don't have an impact. Your fingerprints cannot be wiped away from the little marks of kindness that you left behind.
That's absolutely beautiful, Audrey.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
every
you
line
don't
hit home.
Sometimes you don't think the little tiny, tiny little gestures can make someone's day just that much brighter.
Well, I have a tendency to tell people exactly what I think of them, where people shy away and demonstrate what they feel for another person by doing kind things. For example, I will actually go up to somebody and say, you are so beautiful. And they're almost embarrassed, but I want them to know what I think. Or you are, you know how you have a special friend or friends and you just take it for granted that they know that you love them as a friend. I had a friend sitting beside me last week and I said, you know, I want you to know how special you are to me. You are a truly special friend. And she said, and I feel the exact same way about you. So sometimes we shy from actually expressing ourselves for fear of embarrassing ourselves. Well, why are we embarrassing ourselves? We're speaking the truth, and should we pass away, which we're all going to, that person will remember what we said to them. Yeah,
exactly. That's just it. And I find a lot of people sometimes have a hard time receiving a compliment or hearing that, like, you know what I mean? So we tend to not do it maybe because of that.
I don't know, but I've learned to say thank you instead of, oh my God, don't be so crazy.
Yeah, I know. Finally I did. And the reason I say that is because someone finally turned around to me and said, dear God, would you just say thank you? Like, accept the compliment.
Accept the compliment.
Instead of constantly deny what it is they're trying to tell me.
Right. It's just a lot. You know, you don't want to be too boastful or come across as conceited. But what you should take it as a sign of gratitude that somebody thinks you're special in whatever way they're telling you that you are.
And to actually say it out loud to your face is, you know,
I'll say it to my children, and I'll say, my gosh, you're handsome. And they're like, what? You're my mom.
I know.
Say, well, you're still
I get
handsome.
that one too. You're my mother. You're supposed to say those things. I'm like, no, no, no. There wasn't a book. There wasn't a manual.
But that's nice, Audrey, because a lady, an older friend of mine, gave me a cup and saucer just about a month ago. And now when I drink my cup of tea, and whenever I'm going to drink my cup of tea, I'm going to think of her.
Yes.
right? So
Exactly.
it's special.
It's beautiful.
I
It
love
is. It really is. We have some other things that we're going to talk about, our quick chat portion of the show, like we always do. And you were discussing with me earlier in the week about a thought-provoking question.
I think they're good.
Right?
I think we don't ask enough. We ask trivial questions of other people, but we don't often give people something substantial to think about on a given day.
Yes.
So I just like that for Monday, especially to kickstart our minds and get their brains rolling, and for the viewers too, to get them asking themselves the same kind of questions. So you have a thought-provoking question for me?
I do. Okay,
I'm going to drink first.
Okay.
It's water.
It's water. And yeah, our viewers at home can take a listen, and if you want, you can actually answer this question yourself on our Facebook page, maybe. And it would be nice to hear from them and see what their comments are. So my question to you would be, one thing. If you could change one thing in this world, you had the power to change one thing right here, right now, today, what would it be?
Peace. World peace.
It is.
There's no question in my mind that the world's torn and that we're in such a mess globally that I don't know where I would begin, but I would begin if I had the power to get the leaders of the world together to gel on world peace and love. That's the one mission I would have, and I would change it instantaneously. Giving of yourself to each other, being kind, not fighting, forgetting about race, forgetting about the politics in the world that's making it such a mess.
I mean, we need politics. We need
that. We do need that, but we don't need we don't need a war because of the different aspects of their minds.
Your beliefs and my beliefs. Why should that? Right?
I would just want peace. In other words, the racism has to go if you want world peace. The prejudice.
Racism and prejudice.
And everybody's entitled to the religion. But keep it out of your face and keep it out of the war, because that's basically what it's all about, power,
My grandmother always told me that's what started great wars, was religion and politics. Right? That's what they all started over.
And peace has to start within your home. And once peace starts within your home, then that works into your family and your friends and your, what you give to each other, it can ricochet.
Yes.
And spill over to other people. That includes your community. And once you have a leader in your community and people that are of good thoughts in your community and leaders, then they can take it out of our community into, throughout the province. It just starts at home.
It does. It really does. Kindness, peace, loving, acceptance of others.
Acceptance is huge.
Yeah.
I have no prejudice in my body. Like, I accept everybody. If my son came home with a girl, if my 25-year-old son was to get married and bring home a girl of a different color, a different religion, a different viewpoint than I have on many things, so be it. We're in the 21st century. And we have to learn to accept the changes.
I'm more about any one of my children bringing home someone who loves them for them, who they are, and treats them with love and kindness and respect. Those things outweigh
everything.
The color of their skin or their religion, or you know what I mean?
How they treat your loved ones.
Yes, exactly. To me, that's more weight than gold. Really.
True. And you're always thinking sometimes, like, if your son has a car, or if he's got a little bit extra cash out there because he's had a job all summer, or he's gained an allowance from doing chores at home, you have to wonder, okay, I hope the girl's not using him. And that's what your point is. You have to make sure that they're really crazy about the guy or your daughter, and that they're loving them for not what they can offer materially, that they see them for what they have to offer.
Yeah, exactly. That's just it. I was always, my biggest, more so to my girls, but I've taught my boys as well, when you find someone to love, as long as, I always told them I was going to sew this on the pillow. If you have to change who you are inside, to be with them,
that's not going to be good.
Like, done.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't
and that
change
goes
yourself
with
for anybody.
That's friends or, boyfriends.
We have to accept what that person is. I'm not going to change for anybody no matter what. So if I have a quirkiness, my husband loves me for that quirkiness. He accepted me for that. He married me for all my faults.
He knew that going in.
He knew I was, what I was all about after going out for 4 years. And we're finally, here we are, like, going on 34 years of marriage, or been together 34 years. Actually, since we met.
Oh, wow.
And he's still there, and he still says, I love you, and I tell him the same thing. And keep up the niceties, keep up the little things that you did at the beginning that sparked your interest for one another.
Yeah.
Don't forget what made you attracted to one another.
That's right. That's right. That's true, true, true. May is a big month for me because we have our anniversary this month.
Ah, what number?
So 29.
Wow,
29
Audrey,
years,
you don't even look 29.
Yeah, right.
Jeepers. That's crazy.
That's the compliment I was talking about that I'm like, yeah, right.
Okay, say it. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you, Judy.
And then speaking of love and unconditional love,
Yeah.
our mothers. With
Yeah,
Mother's Day coming up.
Mother's Day is in May
Yes.
as well. And
Let's
I
talk
still
about our
have,
moms.
Yeah, I still have my mom.
And I do too.
And, you know, we finally have her back at this end of the country a few years ago. She had lived out west for a while. Though my parents divorced shortly after I got married, and then she moved away. We've got her back. I say got her back like she was
Yeah.
like gone. But no, mothers are so important. And her mother, she lost at a young age, which must have been so, I can't imagine
not having
my mother. And even though we don't talk every day, that connection is just the most powerful one on earth. I don't know about you.
I totally agree. I absolutely love my father to the end of the earth. He's the best dad I could have ever handpicked. Yeah. My mom, like they say, there's nothing like a mother's love. And I believe that. And my mother and I have many true friends, and I have many casual friends. And I think my mother, aside from my husband, is my best friend.
Really?
She and I talk every day. If we don't see each other in person, she lives very close to me, I will call her. And we talk just like you and I would on the phone about anything and everything. And she accepts my, opinions just as I accept hers.
Because that's what I was going to say.
Yes.
Did you lock younger
Never
when we were
locked
teenagers?
horns.
When teenagers?
Audrey, never.
You're fibbing.
No,
She's
I'm not
fibbing.
fibbing. My mother's listening. Mom, would you call in?
Yeah.
We've never, I don't think ever in all of my lifetime have had a fight.
A disagreement.
The only one thing I remember is I wanted to go to a Trooper concert when I was about 19 years old, and I had a big exam the next day, and she said, it's not a good idea. You have to prepare. And I said, Mom, I've studied. I really want to go. I want to go. And I was really mad. But we talked about it, and we came up with, I studied so many hours and I would be allowed to go, and so it was a win-win.
Right.
But my mom, my best thing is when people come up to me and say, my goodness, you're lucky to have the mother you have. She is the most wonderful mother, and how blessed you are, and I think I really am. But if other people are telling me that, then it's a given that she's very special.
Well, I'd have to say, growing up, I was a family of 4, and I have 4 children. I'd have to say, I think for the most part, a lot of our viewers and a lot of our mothers who are raising small children and teenagers right now find it hard to believe that there wouldn't be some sort of conflict when you're trying to raise your kids. I think that would be the norm, to lean towards that side, that your children are going to tell you that they hate you and that you're a horrible mother, and trying to be able to get through those days. And my advice to those mothers, to hang in there. And the biggest thing is, even though, because I'm still raising smaller ones and still trying to teach them life lessons and different things like that, is that no matter what the disagreements or what the lesson is that you're trying to teach them, and that you growled and that you maybe had to yell, or that you maybe had to punish them in a timeout, or whatever it was, and at the end of the day, and as much as sometimes it seems hard to give them that hug and kiss at the end of the day and say that you love them because you wanted to pull your hair out, and that part is normal.
Yes, yes.
When you go to bed at night, say goodnight to them. Love you. You know what I mean? Not that it smooths it over completely, but they know that you're just trying to teach them.
That's right.
Right? You're just trying to teach them life lessons so that they'll be mature, responsible, respectable adults when they grow up, and the rest of the world has to deal with them after that. And they know that no matter what, I love them.
That's
so
right.
much at the end of the day.
If it's a rough one, at the end of the day, it's going to be patched up. And kids want you there, they want to know you're there. Yeah. They might, like you said, do
even
things
though
that
they say they don't.
They do. They don't want you sitting on the front lines at a game going, go, 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 and embarrassing
screaming
them.
your name.
But if you don't go to that game, they're
right.
mad. Because why did you miss my
little...
game? I wanted you to be there. They want you there, but they don't want you noticeable. Yeah. And, the kids, don't you notice that even if they're adult children, they still want you to go in and say, good night, I hope you had a good day. I love you. And whatever we didn't work out tonight will work out tomorrow kind of thing. But close on a really good note.
It really does. I even noticed that with my 21-year-old who's done her 3rd year of university. And even though she says and wants to like make these phone calls herself and do these arrangements and be the grown-up and different stuff like that, and I'm telling her how to do it, I still, with the little things she says, and she's like, at the end of it, she's like, well, here's the phone number. Can you call?
Right.
I know that
you
she
want them
still
to be
needs
more independent, though. You got to push for them to be more independent.
Yeah.
You can't coddle them too much at that age.
That's just it. So I try to let her handle bigger issues on her own. And she's made mistakes and things haven't gone as well. And then I go, okay, I'll make a call and this is how it would have been done, because it's teaching her when I show her how. To make that call or do, so
we
that the next time.
We are the parents. We have to, we're the adults teaching the kid to learn from what we're trying to do and show.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think, I don't know about you, but I think that communication is the key to raising a child that you want to turn out in the proper way. It's not trying to be their friend all the time either.
No.
They have
the way you communicate.
Yeah, like don't try to be their buddy. They don't want when they have their friends in your rec room with all their teenage friends around. They don't want their mother stuck there saying, so how are you, Kelsey? And hey, Paul. What? It's like, Mom, this is my time with my friends. You're my mom. You know, we like to, you can say hi, but then kind of, you know, get out of there. Because would you have wanted your parents in the same room when you were a teenager, like asking your friends about their lives?
That's just it. They want you handy, but they don't want you right in their business.
Or asking questions like, so you were at a party last night, so who was drunk and who was going out with who? Don't go there.
I've never gone there.
No, you don't, because it's none of our business, really.
Yeah. I find out other ways. We live in a small community, and Facebook is amazing. You know, I can find out other ways so that if something came up they wanted to ask me, I already know, you know, in around the back door what it is. Right?
And in communication, open-ended questions is the way to go.
You were saying earlier.
It's so important. When you have a child come home, you don't say, I bet your school day went great.
No.
You're giving them the answer. It's like, how was school? What did you learn in school today? And then they have to answer you.
It's not a yes or no.
So you had a great year at university, I guess. Well, you guess, but instead say, so how was your year? What were the highs and lows of university for you?
Yeah.
And let them answer.
And let them, exactly.
How did you feel you did at school?
We'll have to do a show on parenting.
Bring the kids right in, embarrass them right to death.
Okay, well, we have some great guests coming up. We're going to be going to commercial break, but we want to let you know that we have Police Chief Paul Fyander is with us today, along with Sergeant Bob Bruce from the Miramichi Police Force. And they're going to be joining us next and talking about a number of different things with the Miramichi Police Force.
Because it's Police Week this week.
That's right.
This is why they're here. This is why they're a very important guest. So
yeah, definitely.
I can't wait to hear what they have to say.
Don't go away. We'll be back with more. Welcome back to more Have a Chat. We were just having our quick chat portion of the show. Up next, we have a couple of special guests joining us. We have the Police Chief, Paul Fyander, is joining us, along with Sergeant Bob Bruce from the Miramichi Police Force. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you for having us.
We have to behave today, do we?
I didn't check.
You do every day.
I'm parked in the right lines. I have water in my glass.
I know. I came in after them. I'm pretty sure I'm illegally parked.
I know. Are they following me here to the show? I was thinking going 30. You know.
There's no lines in that parking lot out there. I'm good. I can fight it.
It's nice to have you, especially that's
nice
Police Week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very, you know, timely.
Yes, exactly. Well, we'll get first Chief Fyander, if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are.
Sure. I started in policing in 1979 and went through the police academy. I'm telling my age now.
Oh, okay. Everybody's running the math.
Yeah. 1980, I joined the former Blackville Police Force, and I worked there until 1995, and joined the city force in 95, and worked my way up corporal sergeant, deputy chief in 2005, and took over as chief on January the 1st, 2012.
Wow.
I'm married. My wife Carmel and I have 2 sons.
Yes.
Our oldest is member with the Halifax Regional Police. He's been there for 6 years.
Okay.
He and his wife Lacey, and we have a new grandson.
You do?
Who's just a little over a year, and
Spoiled rotten.
great fun. Yes, he is.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
nice.
And our youngest son Alex is 24, and Alex was born with Down syndrome. And
My favorite.
yes,
I
our
absolutely
favorite too.
adore Down syndrome children.
So he goes to the More Services program in Chatham,
So smart.
and he works 3 mornings a week, and he's involved in Special Olympics.
Very polite, mannerly, well brought up. Boy, we were talking about
Yeah.
raising children. You've done a fine job.
Thank you.
Very beautiful children.
Exactly. And we're going to talk to Sergeant Bob Bruce.
Sure.
How are you?
Great, thank you. And thanks for having us here today.
That's a good opportunity.
Definitely.
I've been a police officer here for quite a few years, something like the chief. I've been here since 1983, so what you do with the math, I've done that one as well.
Ah, I was finishing university,
yes,
okay.
I started my career with the Chatham Police Force. I worked there for a year, the first year, then Newcastle Police Force for a year, then back to Chatham, where stayed until we merged as a city police force in 1995.
Yeah.
Went up through the ranks as well, constable for quite a few years, and corporal with the former Chatham Police Force, and sergeant with the Miramichi Police Force since 1989 and
Wow.
1998.
That's a big ladder to climb, you guys.
Yes.
But it feels good to get where you are, right?
Yes.
You earn your way up through your, great work.
Well, we had you on this week because it's Police Week here
Yes.
in Miramichi, and we wanted you to be able to come on the show and tell us all about a number of different things that are going on at the Miramichi Police Force. First thing, the specialized programs that you guys have that I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who don't know exactly what you actually have to offer.
Yes, many of our officers, both male and female, wear many hats.
Okay.
We have our staff is 52 total.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
33 sworn officers.
Oh,
and
really?
We have 4 clerical, 11 in our communication center.
Is that the largest we have in a while? It seems.
No, when the
Okay.
city amalgamated, we had 41 full-time
Okay.
officers, but
Oh,
because
okay.
of the downturn,
Right.
population and everything. And we have a communication center, which is 1 of 6 in the province.
Good.
And we have 11 employees there, and we have 4 jail guards that work
So
part-time,
that's
full-time.
something.
with
That's
us.
quite a lot of employees. I didn't realize you employed that
Yeah.
many people.
So with our officers, like I say, they wear many hats. So we have specialized training. We have a 6-person emergency response team, which we have a joint team with the Bathurst Police Force. So whether it's in Miramichi or Bathurst, they deploy to either area.
Okay.
We have a marine unit. We have people specialized, trained for that. We share a boat with the fire department. We have 3 drug recognition officers, which are called out or are working and deal with impaired driving by drug.
Yeah, wait till marijuana is legalized. You're
Well,
going to have your
that's-
hands full.
Yeah,
Then that's a
that'll
whole
be
other
a
show.
that might be a
That's
whole other
nother
show.
That's gonna be
Absolutely.
interesting.
You'll have to have
Yes,
the
it is.
first segment and the second
Yes,
segment.
that's
But it's great to have what you have in place as far as the
Yes.
alcohol goes and the
yes,
offenders.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then we have 4 crisis negotiators. So if you have a barricaded person or
Okay.
hostage situation,
Yes.
so they're trained to deal with that. We have site commanders. We have 2 accident reconstructionists that are certified and trained for doing major accidents.
Okay.
Oh, that would be
What
the
am I
worst
leaving
part.
out
What
here?
about canine, like for the drugs?
We have two canines,
Okay.
and one we'll touch on is retiring at our Police Week open house. After 11 years of service, Timo is retiring, and the handler, Corporal Laurie McCackman, that's her second dog.
Yes.
So Laurie has been involved in the program since 1999, which is a big commitment.
It is huge.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and we have one other canine, and that canine is trained for search and drugs as well.
Well, there's so many
Yeah.
drugs in our area that dog must be
Unfortunately,
worn
yeah.
out. that dog, he'll be retiring soon too.
Well, there's a couple of other things that I didn't know you had before, but my oldest son is autistic.
Yes.
And a few years ago, we registered him with the
Yes.
Registry for Autism so that if and ever he was out and about and was picked up for whatever reason, that you guys would, I had to fill out the questionnaire, you
Yes.
just took pictures, that he knows all of he knows you guys more than.
Yeah. And I know your son from Special Olympics as well.
Yes, that's right. And then there's the Alzheimer's as well, right? Which I knew of. I didn't realize. So is there other programs like that?
There is. We have a number of different programs and organizations that we partner with.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about the Seniors Police Academy here shortly. That's a program. This is the 4th year that it's running. Kids and Cops, which has always been, through Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
We can get to talk about that today.
That's a staple. That's been with us for a long time. But as you had mentioned, with the autism registry, the Alzheimer's, and of course we have partnerships with addiction services, mental health.
Huge umbrella.
It was a huge relief for me, believe it or not, to find out that was because Brody was becoming of legal age, and though he lives at home with me and still under our guidance and legal guardian kind of thing, he could be in situations or in places that it's not like I can say, oh, you can't go there, or you can't do this.
Yes.
And I was constantly worried about other people taking advantage, knowing that he, was a little different and things like that. And this is really a peace of mind for me and my family and my husband that, I just feel so much better.
Good.
It's
when
a great
he's out and
program.
about on his own. Exactly.
It is very good, and we've had a lot of inquiries from other agencies who have also taken on the program. So it's great to have. There's no doubt about it.
I really don't have enough information. I want more on the Seniors Police Academy because I heard about it, but I don't know what it entails. So could you tell us?
Sure. This will be the 4th year that we have done the Seniors Academy. The criteria is you have to be over 65, live in the city of Miramichi, and not have any criminal record. So what we've done, it's fostered somewhat off our Kids and Cops program that has been long running, but it's designed exclusively for seniors. What we do is we advertise, take applications from within the community, and we bring in a group of clearing us. So we try to educate them on if you see something happening, make sure we're made aware of it. We have officers who specialize in fraud. We'll have a session with them, with the seniors on
because unfortunately with them, that's something that happens a lot more with them.
Yes, unfortunately some of these fraud artists prey on seniors.
I know,
and try to get their banking information or somehow get their money, some different things. So we hopefully we can educate them a little bit more on that.
That's really quite the program then. And you have people always entering your program, do you? There's no shortage.
There's always a wait list for it.
Oh, you're kidding.
Unfortunately, our resources can only do it once a year. So
well, put me down when I'm 65.
I know. Can we book ahead?
I can't say I'll be booking too soon, but reserve me a spot. Yeah. And also, being Police Week, you have a lot going on.
Yes.
Okay, so do you want to highlight some of the...
So National Police Week, Sergeant Bruce had informed me there was 1970 is when it started.
Oh, when it started.
I knew it's been around for a long time, but anyway, 1970.
1970, yeah.
So a couple of years ago, Sergeant Bruce coordinates it for us and puts a lot of time and effort into it. We used to do Police Week activities years ago, and then it just kind of fell to the wayside, one of those things.
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, we sat down and we talked, and we decided we wanted to get back into it. It's a great PR tool. It's a great tool for people to come in to see what we got, because a lot of the times we lose sight of the fact that a lot of the public don't even know what we do, what we have, or anything like that.
No,
right?
they think you're the 911. When something's wrong, dial 911, and that would be all.
So we wanted to change that, and we want to give the public the opportunity to come in, tour our facility, so they can go through. We have, I'll get Sergeant Bruce here in a moment just to talk about what we have for the whole day, but part of it is the tour from 2 till 5 o'clock. Okay. And we have displays out in the parking lot, the back parking lot. And we invite, the last couple of years, our partners, law enforcement partners, so we have public safety representatives. From off-road vehicle, commercial vehicle.
Department of Fisheries and Oceans, Weights and Measures, conservation officers, the new contraband unit, the do some enforcement with the tax laws, especially tobacco.
Interesting stuff.
We were approached just last week that Crime Stoppers and Ground Search and Rescue asked if they could put on displays because they think it's a good opportunity to promote what they do to help us during this public display. So
big connection.
It is.
So this being May 8th, this Police Week runs right through until Friday. And so where do the tours, do you have to just phone or make an appointment?
No, it's on May the 10th,
Okay.
on Wednesday.
Okay, Wednesday.
Oh, on the
this
Wednesday.
week.
Yep.
couple days' time.
Yep,
Yeah.
from 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock.
Perfect.
All they have
Okay.
to do is come to the front entrance of the police station,
Someone there.
located at 1820 Water Street, and we will gladly take them on a tour of the facility. And then we always have the displays as well as our partners in the back parking lot.
So you mean like a mock disaster type thing? Does that take place at all?
No.
No, you
No,
don't do
not
that.
That would be a
we
different-
have, but not during police week.
No, but
We-
that's
No.
a very valuable thing to be showing the community.
So a couple of things we do. We have a canine demonstration.
Oh,
That's
neat.
going to take
Oh,
place
okay.
at 2:30.
Okay.
Right.
And,
Where
uh,
someone's dressed up in that big padded suit and you stick the dog after them?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
there.
We're always looking for
Volunteer?
volunteers.
You need
for
a
that,
volunteer?
I'm busy. I'll follow
I'm
the dog.
busy Wednesday too.
Yeah, no, 2:30 is going to be a very you'll have a lot of
Yeah.
people for that.
So at 3 o'clock, we're going to do a special presentation to Canine Timo
Oh, Timo.
on her retirement, and the mayor is going
Okay.
to be present
Present.
and is going to make a presentation
That's
to Timo.
sad. It's beautiful
It-
that
it
she's
is.
done her he. Is
Yes.
it a he?
It's a she.
It's a
It's
she,
a
and
she.
she's done her time, and she's been a valuable asset to your police force. But it's her
Yep.
time to.
Because you already have the new dog.
We have another
being trained,
canine.
which
No,
is-
it's already trained. It's
Oh.
in service.
Do they have to be a
Okay.
special breed, Chief?
Normally, it's German Shepherds. That's
I
what
thought
we've
so.
had
That's what
since
I thought.
1999. All
Yeah.
of our dogs have been
Been
German
Shepherds.
Shepherds.
What I thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're going to get used to this new one.
Yep.
And so this open house is going to be a lot of work, obviously, but you have it all prepared.
We have some extra officers that have volunteered their time to help out. We currently have a program with our local community college, the Police Foundation program, where we actually take on students for an 8-week practicum placement with us, and those students are all going to be tasked that day to help us out as well.
Police Week's a very important
Yeah.
week. Everybody
Well,
should be there.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to bring up while we have you here, because with the policing and stuff like that, and the biggest traffic issue right at the moment here in Miramichi is the Centennial Bridge.
Yes.
And you have lights set up, and the actual construction is right where people drive this time, and it's quite restricted, and you're having lots of issues.
Yeah.
Right?
One of the big
What would
issues.
you like to share there?
Well, one of the big issues we have, and we've had it in the past,
Mm-hmm.
is people not obeying the traffic signals that are
The
on
lights.
the bridge.
They're
right?
lights. Yeah.
So they're timed specifically for a reason,
Mm-hmm.
to allow each lane to go through. And of course, people get up to it, it starts to change to yellow and then red, and they figure, okay, 3 or 4 cars, we can make it through.
Right.
Right.
But what they're doing is they're putting their workers at risk, because when the lights are red on both ends, the workers use that time to cross from one side of the work
the
area
other.
over to the other.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? So that's an issue there for the workers that are
Okay.
on the bridge.
Okay.
Plus, they tend to speed up because of the fact they're trying to get to the other side before the light changes to
Which
green.
actually blows my mind, because if you've been up there, it's really restricted as far as how much space you
yeah.
have
Yes.
this time with
Yeah.
the barricades,
So
and
that
it's not
presents
straight.
a
It's
safety
Yeah.
to the workers as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's an issue. And,
Mm-hmm.
we've asked people, there's been press releases done,
Okay.
Sergeant Bruce had done one last week. We ask people to be patient. The work needs to be done. It has to
Mm-hmm. that's
be
right.
done, right? For
Exactly.
the longevity of the
different.
bridge.
The line
Yeah.
is there. The
Yeah.
line is well marked when you stop, and you have to wait for the light to turn. You have to be.
If you wouldn't do
following.
it in a, downtown where there's a 4-way, and you wouldn't step on it to try and make it through, because why would you do it there? You think nobody
People
sees?
are so impatient. They just think, okay,
They are.
well, if you're that much of a rush and you have to go to work across, say, at Sobeys,
Mm.
go the extra few minutes, take your time, and go around.
That's right.
You
I
know,
drive it
really-
every day.
yeah.
Sergeant Bruce drives it every day. We live in the Douglastown area. And
Yeah.
You have
just
to
be
go by-
patient. Now, one of the things we will be doing, we did it the last time, is
Okay.
we put plainclothes officers up on the bridge.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we have vehicles at each end, and we will be ticketing people that run the red light.
Can't
And
blame
it's
you.
zero
That's-
tolerance.
Zero tolerance,
That's
folks.
just it. There's the risk is too high.
Yes, it is.
It's too great.
And those
for
workers
sure.
up on those beams
Absolutely.
and trying to work,
Yeah.
if they car crashes and hits that and
If
knocks
it hits
somebody
anything,
off,
it's going to be like, I believe it'll
Terrifying.
be a ripple effect
Absolutely.
to everyone and anyone standing anywhere.
Yep.
there working. So,
That's right.
you know, like it's the law, it's a light, and I've actually sat and I've gone, because I work in Douglastown, and I've gone both ways, and it hasn't been yet that I've, as many times as I've waited, I still got to Douglastown
Sure.
faster than going the
Sure.
other way.
That's right.
Because that's another issue too, is that a lot more traffic is going Newcastle
It is.
way.
Heavy traffic
right?
Yes,
right
it
now.
is.
So now you're having traffic accidents on this end of her because the congestion is twice as much.
Yes, it is.
We have
And-
Highway 11, we have the Bathurst
Exactly.
Highway all joining up, so we have traffic coming in, coming
Yeah.
out of the city, and plus our locals.
Yeah.
It's just a huge traffic
Yeah.
line all the
We want to
always.
say thank you to both of you for joining us today
Thank
and
you
letting
for
us
having
know
us
all
very
about the
much. We really
programs.
appreciate it.
Keep up the great work.
Yes, we're so proud of you guys and your
Thank
team,
you.
all of the workers you have in the Miramichi Police Force.
Yeah,
Tell
we
them to keep up the great work.
definitely,
We certainly
definitely. We'll have you back again for sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have some more great guests joining us with Have a Chat right after the break, so don't go away. We'll be back with more Have a Chat right after this. Welcome back to Have a Chat. We were just chatting with the police chief, Paul Fyander, and Sergeant Bob Bruce at the Miramichi Police Force. Great conversation with them. We didn't get to touch on everything that we wanted to. Kids and Cops was another program that they've got going on.
We'll have to bring them
But
back.
we'll have to bring them back to have them on to talk about that, because that's very important
Yeah.
and very positive thing that they're doing as well. So
And
we
get
did,
out and support Police Week
That's
this
right.
week.
Exactly.
Lots
That's just
going
it.
on.
Yes, and we have some special
Hi.
guests joining us now. We have Andrew Booker and Charlene. Charlene Manuel is joining us now, and you guys are from the TAD program and the MADD program.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yes.
So, Charlene, tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are.
I'm Charlene Manuel. I live in Basin End. I'm happily married to my wonderful husband, Colin Manuel.
Nice.
I have two kids, a 27-year-old son, Jeremy, and I have a 20-year-old daughter, Jose.
They grow fast.
Yes, and I just got, I'm a grandmother to a young 10-month-old little girl, Savannah.
Isn't that
Oh,
beautiful?
wow.
Yeah.
So life right
Congratulations.
now is good.
It is, it is.
Nice
Yeah.
to have you, Andrew.
Andrew?
I am originally from Heartland, and I've been in Miramichi for 2 years. I'm graduating from the Police Foundations program this June,
Yes.
and I'm the president of Teens Against Drinking and Driving here at MBCC Miramichi.
Okay.
And right now I'm on my practicum with the Miramichi Police Force for 8
Liking
weeks.
it? Like
yes, I love it. I love
Learning
it.
lots.
It's a tough
Absolutely.
course. That
Absolutely.
MBCC course, that Police Foundations, it's not an easy course.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And those
for
night
sure.
shifts are certainly a challenge too, aren't
Yeah,
they? Because you have to
yeah.
get your sleep the next
Yeah,
day. But
yeah.
for anyone who might not know, and I'm sure everybody does, MADD is Mothers Against Drunk Driving, MADD, and TAD is Teens Against Drunk Driving. So the
Yes.
MADD and TAD reps were so pleased to have you, especially in connection that it's Police Week.
Yes.
Let's just get you, just because, first of all, you look fabulous.
Thank you.
Me knowing you and the viewers maybe not knowing you, you have quite the story about being a victim of a drunk driving accident. Charlene, could you walk us through that, like in a short period?
All right. In 2002, I had just been accepted to community college here in Miramichi for a teacher's aid course.
Yes.
I was very excited. That morning, I came up to town to sign my papers at the college because I was going to start on Monday. This was Friday. I usually walk in mornings, but that day, because I came and after I signed my papers, I went to the store and I bought myself new clothes, and because I was going to start a new chapter, and I was very excited. Came home after and cooked supper for my kids and my husband. And I told him that I was going to go for my walk. He said, please, Charlene, you know it's Friday night, people drink. You know, why don't you wait until tomorrow morning?
Was it dark?
It wasn't dark yet.
It wasn't winter? Or?
It was November.
Okay,
November. So
okay.
yeah, it was starting to get dark.
Okay.
But my little girl that was only 5 heard her dad say that. So she ran at the door and she grabbed my hand and she said, please, Mommy, don't go.
Oh, wow.
And I told her, Jose, go play with your friend. She had her friend home. So I said, go play with your friend and I promise you I'll be home in 1 hour.
Right.
So because we had no sidewalk where I live,
Because this was in
Basin End.
Basin End.
Yes.
Yeah.
And because I had no sidewalk, I took my car and I drove a couple of, miles. And so I left for my walk. And I had already walked one way and I was coming back and I could see my car. I was almost where
To
I
your
was,
car,
yes,
where
to
you
my
had
car.
parked.
And that's it. That drunk driver came behind me. I didn't see him. I got hit, flew on top of his hood.
Oh, my land.
Thank God, in a way that he knocked me. Like I was unconscious because the doctor says I wouldn't have survived.
Wow.
So when he hit me, I flew again
Onto the windshield.
to the windshield and back on the pave, and he kept on going. So I went underneath.
You were dragged.
I was dragged, ran over, came from the front of it, and came out from the back of his car. And yeah, so I was when the not the paramedic, but the people that saw him and saw what happened.
There was, I was going to say, there must have been people
passing
around.
by. So they, this couple were passing by, and he looked in his mirror and he says, "Oh my God, he hit her." So they turned around, and thank God he was on the not on the ambulance. He was a fireman.
Yes.
Okay.
And he knew CPR.
Thank you.
Okay.
So he said, when I found you, you had no pulse. So I had to give you
wow.
mouth to mouth, and they, his wife called the ambulance, and I guess in the ambulance they lost me a couple of times where they had to revive me.
And how many surgeries have you undergone? Because I know you, and I am still so impressed by you, Charlene, that you've just you've conquered so much. How many surgeries have you undergone?
I had 36 surgeries.
36?
36 surgeries altogether.
Wow.
You had broken pelvis and
My pelvis was shattered. It took them 7 hours to put it back. There's a piece that wasn't even usable, so they put a big plate. My leg was broken at a few places. My tibia was broken, my foot, my arm.
Because he took your legs right out from under you, did he?
Yes.
And no head injuries, thankfully.
No, I had. Yes, I did.
Like
yes, that's
but
it.
no brain damage or
No
anything.
brain damage, but I had a big blood clot on my.
Okay.
That was of all the broken bones, and that was the worst because
Injury,
it's
because it was
yes,
the most
yes,
fatal
because
one.
they had to try to get
Stop
rid
the
of
swelling.
it, stop before they do any surgeries. So they had to transfer me to Moncton, and then they gave me stuff, and they told my family it's either she's gonna live or we gotta wait. It was a waiting game, and I guess miracles started to happen where it got shrank, and then they were able to go in and do surgeries and
more surgeries. Did you not have tire marks on your back?
Oh yes, I did.
Like, can you believe this girl?
My land.
Now you're at the gym. You look beautiful. You're a grandmother.
You were walking. She walked in here.
And you've just had a trip down to Cuba.
Yeah.
And you look
in Dominican.
In Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So I'm just so proud of you, and
Thank
you're
you.
sitting here today, and that's a God's gift, really.
Thank you.
So that's why you became part of this program,
Yes.
I'm guessing.
Yes. Well, I was kind of home, like surgeries after surgeries. I couldn't do a lot. I couldn't do too much. And I received a call this afternoon by a young lady, and she was looking for someone to come and talk to young kids about drinking and driving. It was in Shediac. And I told her, oh my God, no, I can't do this. I can't. But she left me her name and number, and she said, if you ever decide that you want to do it, let me know. And I wanted to be a teacher's aide, and so I went to bed that night thinking, oh my God, what better way
to give a message
and do what I wanted to do by doing this.
You lived through it.
Yeah, so I put a little bit, I wrote some notes and did a little video of myself and, my injuries and all that. And I called her and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it.
Good.
So I did.
And that was when?
Oh my God, that was like in 2005, 6 maybe.
Okay.
And I would say like 2 years after or 3 years after maybe. So I started doing it and then I never stopped.
And now you are the president
Now I am
of
the
MADD
president.
for Northumberland Kent.
Yes.
And I'm really proud to be one of your new board
Yes,
members.
you are.
Because you have a local a board now in Miramichi. So I'm really pleased to be on that. And
Thank
also
you.
on board with you, Andrew
Yes.
Booker. You're on our board as well. Let's talk about you and your role with TAD.
How I got involved with TAD was I came to NBCC Miramichi to take police foundations. And one thing that is really encouraged is volunteerism and community outreach and that kind of thing. And coming from a smaller town, I wasn't aware of any MADD or TAD groups in my high school. So when I heard there was one here, I was really excited to get involved. And one thing I really enjoyed was the partnership they had with the Miramichi Police Force. And for someone wanting to pursue a career in policing, any opportunity to work and make a difference and help people while working alongside the police was something that I really wanted to do. So I interviewed for it and I got the position of president.
Lovely.
And from there we haven't looked back for the year. And one thing that was important to me was to develop a partnership with MADD, where MADD was moving into the area, so that we could help each other out and really expand on what we could do together.
Such a huge, important topic to get out there
Yeah.
to everybody, children and adults and everybody else that's behind the wheel and thinking about drinking and driving.
Absolutely.
So what is it that you guys, is TAD doing now with this being policing week now, the police force, they've got an open house and they've got something going on. What do your groups have going on?
Over Police Week, we don't have too much going on in the actual week itself, but we have done in the past information roadblocks where we partner with the police and we hand out MADD and TAD information, and we just wish people to have a good night and to encourage them not to drink and drive. And one thing that I've always said about those is we've always heard so much positive feedback because a lot of people don't know what they're pulling up to. But like with in my opinion, such a great police force that is so community oriented, they know that are going to be treated well at the window, and then when we spread our message and that kind of thing, it really helps to get our message across.
Yeah. And you have an executive, I understand, at the TAD and BCC, and then you have other people, so you're garnering more interest in this whole topic. Are you like bringing the awareness to it?
Yeah, we have. When we did our Christmas parade, we have 4 members on the TAD executive at NBCC, but we had something like 28 people come out for the parade.
Good.
All in uniform, all in the protective
big float.
services. All in the protective services classes, police foundations and corrections.
Nice.
So that was really good, and I was really happy that we could get that.
They were
turnout.
singing.
What?
Yeah.
Do you want to give a little demo?
I don't know. I don't know how you do
We
that.
won't judge you. We'll we can be the voice judges and let him see what he has
I'm
to
the
offer.
furthest thing from Simon Cowler.
But you're really networking then because you're involved with the police department, you're doing your practicum there, you're involved in TAD, you're involved with MADD, and there's a high school TAD program as well.
Yes.
And sometime in the near future, we'll have to get the representative for the TAD high school on here too, because they think it's as important as you do, and as we do.
Is the TAD program going into the schools now? At what level? Is it elementary or is it high? It is at the high school level,
where the kids can actually get their license and drive now, right?
Yeah.
So, what messages do each of you have to strongly give to people about drinking and driving, which is an ongoing, and it's not getting any better, I hear, situation?
Unfortunately.
Myself, the message is that it destroys families. Like we lose so many lives because of drinking and driving. My family was destroyed. You know, like I'm not saying that it was completely destroyed, but I mean, I lost a lot of time with my kids and a lot of.
Well, financially, if you can't work, and it just trickles right down to affect so many. Not to mention,
thank God,
that family.
Thank God I had a, you know, like a good family, and I had my
support.
husband and support, because I mean, it does destroy families.
And maritally, what a stress on that.
It does.
You can't go out to dinner, you can't have intimacy, you can't do anything, because how long would you say it was from the beginning of the accident until you were fully like going and walking, like mobile again?
More independent.
I would say a good 5 years.
5 years.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
And your
5
children were
years.
how old at that time?
Well, when it happened,
Yes.
my daughter was 5
Ah.
and my son was 12.
12 and 5.
So,
Crucial
yes.
ages to be with your
It
children.
was. It
No,
was.
that's
yeah.
just it. Because the other spouse now has to pick up the double the workload.
Oh, yes.
That's it.
With not only like working outside the house, but doing
Yeah.
everything inside the house
That's
as well.
It. That's it. And my husband
You know?
worked away, so he wasn't like, I mean, and he couldn't
What do
stay
you
home.
do?
He had to pay. His
Wow.
bills had to be paid.
Right.
So thank God I had a good mother-in-law that would come over and she would cook for me. She would clean my house. She was taking care of my kids,
Imagine.
Yeah.
and she did a lot for me. And I thank her. Like I thank her that I had her.
You
but,
must feel so blessed.
Oh yes, yes I am. blessed.
Andrew, have you had any friends of yours, or acquaintances, I should say, throughout your lifetime, once they had their license, that were involved in accidents, or do you know of people in general that have lost their lives due to drinking and driving?
Yeah, there was people in my hometown and surrounding communities and that kind of thing that had gotten into accidents and lost their lives due to impaired driving. And for me, the message that I like the reason that I want to be involved in TAD and MADD is that it's not just you either. It's yourself in the car, it's people on the street, it's other people in the car, it's people in their homes. Like, you never know what can happen, and you just have to think about that. It's not just you getting in that car that's going to be affected by that decision. It's everybody,
Do people, I know you give presentations throughout the school district, and which is so valuable when you have a student body listening to what you went through and how they should really pay heed to not drinking and driving. Have you had the opportunity to present to any, community gatherings?
I haven't been able to present to any community gatherings.
I can book that.
That's where she
You
was
do a
going.
good job.
That's
That's
by the way.
what I do well.
Yeah.
I try to coordinate public speakers to engage in strong messages to the community.
Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to do that yet. It's definitely something that I would be willing to do in the future. But for me, I've really enjoyed the amount of things that the MADD and TAD partnership has been able to accomplish. Because I think without that partnership, with the Christmas parade, we wouldn't have had 28 people, or we wouldn't have been able to throw some of those things together. And that's one thing that's been really important, is to make sure that we're all here for the same reason.
We are.
So
Exactly.
just because we're a different organization doesn't mean that we can't work together.
That's it.
And so, like, if we're doing a roadblock and say we don't have anything to hand out, all I have to do is message Charlene, and there's stuff to hand out already, like, at the
Perfect.
door.
Great.
So that's really important.
And I'm just on the board as a citizen who has a great concern for people who might go out and drink and drive. I've never had my family involved or friends. I've had friends that have lost their loved ones, but I just feel it's a huge cause, and that's one thing I want to advocate for. So I'm on your team.
Yes.
We want to thank you guys so much for joining us today and filling us all in, and for you telling your touching story. And hopefully it's reached people out there, and especially when we're coming to that time of year where proms and people are graduating, that time of year, it's a special notice to let people know that not to drink and drive. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks so much
See
for
you
being
again next
here,
week
both
on
of
Have a
you.
Chat.
Thank you.
Thank you.